Women symbolize a unique aspect of royal life in ancient Kush. Many scholars consider Kush to have advanced a matrilineal-based system, a system that was distinct, serving as one of the differences between Egyptian and Kushite civilization. Today, I wanted to see how queens and royal women were represented in Kushite civilization. What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And if you like this content, you can support its continued development on patreon.com. There you can find sources and more in-depth courses on African history. The link is in the description box below. The foundation of this video is taken from a journal article that I think gives valuable information concerning women in Kush. In the ancient world, the position of women in Kushite society was considered very intriguing by some non-African civilizations. In the ancient Mediterranean world, the exceptional status of queens in the kingdom of Meroe inspired comment in the works of Greco-Roman writers. These women, and the Kandake in particular, continue to attract the attention of travelers and scholars down into modern times. The kingdom of Meroe was founded around 500 BC, and it was located in modern-day Sudan. We often refer to the people of Meroe as the Kushites. They were oftentimes the most dominant Nubian group in the Sudan region, and they arguably built the most flourishing Nubian civilization. We learn about royal Kushite women mainly through three categories of study: inscriptions from royal text, depictions of royal women on stelae and temple walls, and finally through tombs with all the good seen in them. Unfortunately, we don't know as much about royal Kushite women as we do Egyptian ones, but some texts give us hints about the various positions they held throughout Kushite society, most of which being associated with the king in some way. We're fortunate enough to see how royal Kushite women dress throughout depictions seen on temple walls. We've seen royals wearing large shawls wrapped around the body, usually below the armpits and around the hips. A second shawl can be seen that's often fringed or decorated with woven stripes. At times, the Kushite woman would drape a sash over their shoulder. These depictions are a really beautiful sight to see because we don't often get to visually witness how ancient African women dressed, especially outside of Egypt, and the clear distinctions that can be made between Egyptian and Kushite royal women's attire is extraordinary. Most scholars agree to the strong matrilineal undercurrent of Kushite civilization, but it still isn't fully understood. The little that we do know, however, through depictions, writings, and tomb findings, paints a pretty descriptive picture. The manifestations of matrilineal ideas have been observed on several occasions. In this system, the person who can bestow an office seems to always be a female, normally the sister of the ruler. She can even give her children the right to the throne. Small references to the matrilineal system in Kushite civilization have been seen in the text. When Taharqa cited the female ancestors of his mother, who were Alara's sisters, he emphasized the Napatan system of matrilineal descent through the mother. The possibility to pass on the right to the throne was transferred from Alara to his sisters, who then bequeathed this power to their children. The genealogy of Azpelta furnishes the most important documentation of the matrilineal component in the succession. The legitimacy of Azpelta's selection was based on his descent from 7 successive generations of royal sisters. Each of these 7 women might have been a decisive factor in the succession of kings between Alara and Azpelta. Royal women were held in high regard in Kushite society. I can actually think of 2 examples that occurred in Kushite society that is rarely observed anywhere else outside of Africa. The first is the tombs of royal women being buried in the same area as Kushite rulers at El Kuru and Nuri. This is worthy of note because, with a few exceptions, Egyptian royal women of the New Kingdom were not buried alongside the rulers in the Valley of Kings. The fact that Kushite women shared a burial ground with rulers was a unique Kushite phenomenon and testament to the matrilineal ideals advanced in that society. El Kuru and Nuri were reserved for the exclusive use of kings and royal women, mothers, sisters, and wives of rulers. Other male members of the royal family were not given burial there. In the hereafter, as in life, Kushite royal women were not separated from the sovereign. The second rare event is when King Payanki sent his so-called royal women to accept the surrender of King Namlot. Ironically, King Namlot sent his wife to negotiate the surrender. This event was very unique, not just for African history, but world history. For royal women to represent the demands of a Kushite king in such a way is clearly indicative of the power that was bestowed upon them, and also how they were intrinsically tied to Kushite political life. Kushite royal women also played a significant role in legitimizing a ruler. The queen mother was crucial in her son's claim to the throne. She was also associated with Isis. Kushite queens assumed positions that in Egypt were reserved only for the king, positions such as Lord of the Ritual. These women not only assisted in religious activity, but they were full participants in the ceremony. The story of Horus and Isis played a unique spiritual role in Kushite society. It must be emphasized that the same myth does not play a comparable role in Egyptian royal ideology. The Kushites did not simply adopt many concepts of rulership that they encountered in Egypt, as often presumed. Rather, the Kushites purposefully took up individual aspects and adapted them to accommodate their own ideas of rulership and to interpret them sacramentally. The connection between the Isis-Horus myth and the king's mother is the closest point of contact between goddesses and queenship. The real world is projected into the divine sphere and vice versa. Isis as mother and decisive factor for Horus's legitimacy is equated with the king's mother, who acts as mother and also plays an important role at the coronation of her son. As we can see, Kushite mothers, sisters, and wives symbolize so much for the social, political, and religious systems of Meroitic society. Some of these women were even documented as actually participating in battle, whether it be the pacification of territory conquered by Kushite royal men, or facing foreign threats on the battlefield like Queen Amanirenas did. It's really no surprise that the Mediterranean world was so intrigued by the status of these royal Kushite women. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.